As Mike said, I am retired Marine Staff Sergeant Octavio Sanchez. In my short 9 years of service, I had the pleasure in serving with 2nd Battalion, 5th Marines Fox Company as a machine gunner, Weapons Field Training Battalion as a block NCO on Bravo Range and a primary marksmanship instructor, and with 1st Battalion, 5th Marines, Charlie Company, whom I deployed to Iraq with. I served as a 4th Platoon squad leader, and my battalion was deployed to Ramadi, Iraq on March of 2005. Ramadi was known as the IED capital at the time. Our task at hand was very difficult, as we were dealt with vehicle-borne improvised explosive devices, enemy sniper fire, and also an enemy that we could not distinguish. On June 16, 2005, during combat operations, our convoy rolled over an IED. This was followed by a full-on ambush of small arms fire and other IEDs that were set around the area.
Here it comes.
As the vehicle hit the IED, I remember thinking on what I was going to do once the opportunity came to pass. It seems like there's a pause, as I am doing now. Drop it in the Marines so they can take care of business.
Yeah!
There's a pause in time that allows you to think about memories, about your loved ones, and you really don't know what's going to happen. It seemed like somebody picked up a remote control and just hit the pause button. In reality, you know something bad's going to happen, you just don't know what. When the IED went off underneath Captain Maloney, and another one right off to the rear of the vehicle, and the third one was off to the right side of the vehicle where I was sitting at. The IED exploded and it launched the fuel into the cab of the vehicle. And once the vehicle came to a halt, you hear the screeching metal. You try everything and anything to get out of that situation. Upon exiting the vehicle, my Marine, Corporal Robertson, told me that I was engulfed in flames from head to toe.
Oh, God.
And I was put out by Lance Corporal Jack Colsnow with a fire extinguisher. Not really caring what was going on around me, because I was so worried about getting the flames turned off. I was, you know, we were taking small arms fire, rounds grazing my head basically. And all in all, what came about is once I was put out, there was an M16 on the floor. And as I tried to pick up the M16 and engage the enemy with my shooting hand, my right hand, there was no strength in my finger to squeeze the trigger. So I switched the weapon to my left hand and I tried to engage the enemy then, and same thing. My hands were burned so bad that I had no control over what I could do with them. Now, I don't want to make this about me because it's not about me, but I want to paint a picture on what Captain Maloney and Lance Corporal Help had to go through. Captain John Maloney was my commanding officer, and Lance Corporal Help was the lead vehicle machine gunner, who both lost their lives that day. From this day forward, the lives of Charlie Company Marines and their families would forever be changed. There's not one day that goes by that I don't remember my brothers in arms. You remember them in their own unique ways. Captain Maloney on one occasion went out on a call, and the vehicle was traveling at a high rate of speed. As they made a turn, they hit a center median, and even though the combat locks were on the vehicle, the doors launched open, and Captain Maloney was thrown out of the vehicle. John refused any medical attention in order to tend to the mission at hand. I can recall that day as I was called to pick him up. And John told me, "Sergeant Sanchez, kick one of your Marines out. I'm going with you." And that's just the type of person that John was. Lance Corporal Help was one heck of a machine gunner. On one occasion, Eric had an accidental discharge of a flare. The flare would be used to fire at vehicles that got too close to our convoys. On this occasion, the flare was prepped, and it fell from the gun turret into the cab of our Humvee. Well, if you can imagine what happened after that. It went off, and you have 5 Marines inside a vehicle trying to get out of the vehicle because it's full of smoke. Needless to say, none of us got hurt that day. It caused some confusion, but all in all, it was something we were able to look back on and have a laugh. These memories are just a few of many that I myself encountered. For there are many Captain Maloney's and Lance Corporal Helps who have paid the ultimate price. And Alexis stole this from me, as she'll learn officers do a whole lot. And take the credit for the enlisted. John 15:13 says, "Greater love hath no one than this, that one laid down his life for his friends." This scripture here reminds me of a Navy corpsman who was in the middle of who after a Marine got shot in the middle of a street in Baghdad was pulling the Marine to safety. Needless to say, the Navy corpsman lost his life trying to help his brother. This passage is exactly what our fallen comrades have done so that we may live in a blessed and free United States of America. These men and women have sacrificed so much, and as they no longer share this world with us, they are forever embedded in our hearts. They leave behind young children that are left to struggle with the question as why. Why didn't their mommy or daddy make it home? And why is it that mommy and daddy's friend did come home? As their families struggle to cope with the loss of their loved ones, the question, why, will remain. A mother might say, "God, why were my prayers not answered? Why did you not protect my child?" I ask myself that similar question, and I always turn to the good book for a few words of inspiration. Psalms 31:3 reads, "Since you are my rock and my fortress, for the sake of your name, lead me and guide me." At this time, I ask the Lord that He guide us in holding our heads high as we remember our comrades who have sacrificed so much. We, the survivors, are also left to battle with the loss of a brother or sister, and we all cope in different ways. Part of us die when we lose a comrade, but it would be a disgrace to get into a cocoon and keep our emotions bottled up.